Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to New Jersey Motorsports Park as we get set to go back to wheel racing here in this Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. 2 rounds of racing already in the books for both USF2000 and Indy Pro 2000. And it is time for the final rounds of the event here in Millville. Running this 2.25 mile, 12-turn Thunderbolt Raceway circuit here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Had some solid racing here in USF2000, and we'll cap off the day. Of course, you know that we've all been watching the video and all been watching the satellite forecast. A little bit of a sprinkle here right now, not the full-on rain we potentially could have had. Drivers rolling their cars out here now to get rolling. Of course, everybody on the slicks. We'd assume that the wet weather tires will be brought out here as well because we'll see what happens. My name's Rob Howden, folks, the voice of this Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires, and we're about set to go as the drivers have rolled out. Let's have a look at this grid. 18 drivers ready to go for 20 laps to cap off the USF2000 component this weekend. Row number 9, Kent Vaccaro in the number 41, starting on the outside of row 9, the rookie driver for Miller Vinatieri Motorsports. We'll start alongside Christian Bogle for J. Howard Driver Development in the number 7. Row number 8, we'll have Wyatt Prokachek in the J. Howard Driver Development number 5. The rookie starting 16th alongside Josh Pearson, who got his first top 10 in race number 2. Pearson out of Oregon in the number 16 for Exclusive Autosport. Moving to row number 7, another exclusive driver, Prescott Campbell, P5 in the opening race. Got some trouble in qualifying, kind of bleeding through to this particular race as well. Prescott's going to start further in the field. Watch for him to move up in that number 1 machine. Last year's Lucas Oil School of Racing Formula Car Series champion. Campbell starting 14th. Inside of that row, the number 21 for Pabst Racing second-year driver Yuvan Sundaramurthy starting in 13th. Working up to row 6, Kyle Dupel on the outside in the Cape Motorsports, number 8, the Oregon driver starting 12th. Inside, Jack William Miller in the Miller Vinatieri Motorsports, number 40, starting 11th. Row number 5 now, let's go into the top 10. Josh Green from Mount Kisco, New York, rookie driver for Cape Motorsports, starting in 10th spot in that number 2 machine. And on the inside, came in and put fresh rubber on in race 2 to try to get a good qualifying spot. He definitely bumped up the order. Young Canadian rookie Nico Christodoulou for D-Force Racing in the number 11, scheduled to start here in P9. Moving to now row number 4 on the outside, Matt Round-Garrido from England in the number 23 for Pabst Racing. He'll start in the 8th spot. And on the inside, starting 7th, your current runner-up in the championship chase. He needs to move forward and move forward quickly. Reese Gold in the number 3 from Miami, Florida, the Cape Motorsports driver starting in 7th. Row number 3 on the outside, Michael D. Orlando. It's been on the podium already here this weekend. The driver from Hartsdale, New York, in the number 4 for Cape Motorsports, starting in the 6th spot, a 1:18.203. The fast lap from race number 2 moves him to P6. Alongside him, Christian Brooks, who started 13th and moved up to 7th in the race number 2. Good qualifying lap for him. Fast lap in that race moves him to P5. So the exclusive Autosports driver starting 5th in the number 44. It's the rookie Christian Brooks. Then we have row number 2, Eduardo Barrichello on the outside, multi-time race winner this year here for Pabst Racing, the Brazilian in the number 22 machine, a 1:18.113 is fast lap in race 2. Barrichello starting in the 4th spot. Inside of that row, a strong run to P2 in the race. Cameron Shields from Toowoomba, Australia for D-Force Racing in the number 10, looking to try to break through and get that first win here in the 2020 season. A winner last year at the Freedom 75 at Lucas Oil Raceway. Cameron Shields starting the number 10 from the 3rd spot. 18 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row. Off pole, a driver who has got himself back where he needs to be. Christian Rasmussen from Denmark for J. Howard Driver Development, the number 6. Started the season with 6 straight victories. Has a rough go through the middle of August, but has got back at it again. 1st, 2nd, and 1st, the last 3 results. He is really getting things rolling. Another victory in race number 2. A good lap as well puts him on the outside of row number 1, a 1:18.075, his fast lap from race number 2, but maybe more importantly, stretching out that championship lead even more, looking to get a good result here so he can leave with a strong opportunity to take a run at the championship when we get to St. Petersburg in 2 weeks. 11 career Road to Indy wins for Christian Rasmussen. Driver on the pole position here, though, his first pole in Road to Indy competition, second-year driver Nolan Siegel out of Alto, California in the number 9 machine. The J. Howard driver development pilot came in, put on some fresh rubber, and was able to step things up and work his way up front. A 117.749, laying that fast lap down in race number 2. Kind of gave up the position there, but to get the fast lap to move himself to the pole. So it will be an all J. Howard driver development front row. Nolan Siegel and Christian Rasmussen row 1. Shields and Barrichello on row 2. Brooks and D'Orlando on row 3. Gold and Round Garrido on row 4. Chris Dulu and Green row 5. Miller and Dupel on row 6. Sundaramurthy and Campbell on row 7. Pearson and Prokachik on row 8. And Bogle and Vaccaro on row number 9. Drivers, of course, got the Cooper Tires umbrellas out here as rain lightly falling here on the racetrack. Nothing too crazy, just a little bit of a sprinkle here and there. We'll see how things progress over what will be a 20-lap race for these drivers to cap off their weekend here in New Jersey. Again, all these drivers, of course, chasing that championship that would give them the scholarship to move to the Indy Pro 2000 category in 2020. It's really come down to just a couple of drivers now. Again, with just 3 races to go in the season, including the one they're about to start here momentarily. Started the season off at St. Petersburg, got 1 session of practice in, then we got shut down for the COVID-19 pandemic, and we turn around and cap off the season in 2 weeks' time at that racetrack. We're about a minute away, folks, and I'm down here on pit lane with all the 18 drivers, all the teams and the crews getting ready to go. We've had a bunch of guests enjoying the hospitality here trackside with the Anderson companies and the Orlando family as well. Great to have everyone here with us, and we look forward to having more fans at the racetrack in 2021. Time to get things underway, folks. Joining me down here on pit lane, as I said, to give the command to start these engines from the Anderson Company's guest list. John and Jeff Bukovecki will give me the call. Guys, let's get things underway.
Drivers, start your engines!
There you go. Said with vigor. Engines firing down here on pit lane, and we're about set to go racing. 20 laps for USF2000, the first rung of this Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. These drivers very early on in their young careers trying to follow in the footsteps of guys like Pato O'Ward, Colton Herta, Jack Harvey, Oliver Askew, Renus VK, Spencer Piggott, all these drivers who have worked their way through the Road to Indy program, beginning here in USF2000. Christian Rasmussen on the cusp of grabbing a hold of his first championship. Second year in the series, 3 wins in 2019, 8 wins so far here in 2020. It's been a strong season other than that midsummer dip. Rasmussen looking to get a quality result here. Doesn't need a win, just needs to keep those primary championship contenders behind him. Nolan Siegel, of course, starting on that pole. Team made a strategy call to bring him in race number 2. Put fresh rubber on the car for Siegel. Went out and knocked out a smoking fast lap. And that has put him on the pole for this race. He'll see if he's able to jet away. Teammate right beside him as well, Christian Rasmussen. Field, you can see, working their way now through turn number 3. Out of 2 into what is a 3-4-5, essentially 3A, 3B, 3C, a chicane, instead of using the big, wide, sweeping right-hander. Drivers now coming through turn 4 down to turn number 5. Road to Indy staffer Jeff Kolowinski behind the wheel of the pace car here today. Drivers weaving back and forth, trying to build a little bit of heat into these tires. Quick look at the weather. Like as I said, light sprinkle, about 64 degrees now. It's cooled down quite a bit. 80% chance of rain at at 4 o'clock, 80% at 5, 100% at 6 o'clock. Rain's coming, they're saying here for Millville, but will they hit the racetrack? That's the key thing. Drivers coming through turn number 8 now, getting ready to dial things in. USF2000. Championship, of course, not as tight as it once was midway through the season. 50 markers up for Christian Rasmussen. 52 ahead of Eduardo Barrichello. All it takes was one bad race, one issue, one DNF to open things wide up again. Siegel and Rasmussen on the front row. Drivers coming out of turn number 12. We will look to go green. Aaron Likens, he's got the green flag in his hands. Drivers slowly coming up. First pole position, first start up front for Nolan Siegel. Into the punch-off zone. He can go when he wants. Great start for Siegel. Quick jump. Good start from the outside as well, though, for Rasmussen. I think he would have liked an even better start to be able to tuck back in behind his teammate. We're going to go 4 wide. Into turn 1. A little bit of brake lockup. Drivers looking clean so far, coming through turn number 1. They'll work their way over to turn 2, up and over top of the hill, down to 3. Couple of 2 drivers side by side further back. Siegel able to get through cleanly. Everybody into 3A, 3B. Well, so far, Siegel out into the lead. Luckily for Rasmussen, able to tuck back in. Siegel didn't get a massive lead at the start. I thought he might have been challenged a bit from the back, as it's Cameron Shields now running in that 3rd spot. Surprised Shields actually didn't try to make that move down into turn number 1, as they now come through turn number 6. Opening lap of what will be a 20-lapper. Literally looking down here, I don't see well, I know that J. Howard Driver Development, a couple of sets of reins, just looking to see if the reins are out and ready to go. So far, so good. Maybe a light sprinkle. Get ready to complete this first lap. We'll give you a full field rundown as they come through turn 11A and B, through turn number 12. The kink that leads onto this half-mile front straightaway. Big challenge further back. D. Orlando going to try to hold off Brooks. Christian Brooks going to the outside. D. Orlando blocked to the bottom. Brooks trying to roll around the outside from P5. Can't quite get it done. Looking for the over-under. Did that in the race number 2 as well. Does Brooks beat him down into turn number 3? He does not. Brooks still P5. That's the pressure right now, though. Top 3 out by themselves. Siegel, Rasmussen, and Shields. But Brooks getting super aggressive, trying to find a way by Michael D. Orlando. Brooks runs 5th. Eduardo Barrichello back to 6th spot. Matt Round-Garrido in 7th. Josh Green 8th. Kyle Dupel in 9th. Reese Gold in 10th. Prescott Campbell 11th. Jack William Miller in 12th. Nico Christodoulou in 13th. Wyatt Bakacek in 14th. Yuvan Sundar Murli 15th. Josh Pearson, Christian Bogle, and Kent Vaccaro rounding out the 18-car field. There is obviously an opportunity for Christian Rasmussen to clinch the championship. He needs 67 points. He'd have to finish 17 points better than Reese Gold and 15 points better than Eduardo Barrichello. Barrichello still running in that 6th spot. So that would not be quite enough, I believe. Actually, it might just be enough. Yeah, I think actually it'd be 67 points. Barrichello, as he runs, would be out of contention. Reese Gold, 12th. I think it'd be the same as well. Prescott Campbell moving up a spot. Cameron Shields as well, I believe, able to get by Rasmussen. So Cameron Shields into 2nd spot. He gets by Rasmussen. Prescott Campbell by Kyle Dupel. And Jack William Miller passed Reese Gold. Cameron Shields up on the wheel now. He goes to P2. Interesting, the drivers up front for J. Howard Driver Development and D-Force, Nolan Siegel and Cameron Shields, teammates last year at Newman Walks Racing. Wreck in turn number 5 as a couple drivers went around. That driver pulling away from that spin. I wonder if that's potentially Jack William Miller, or it's one of the Red Miller Vinatieri cars, either Jack William Miller or Kent Vaccaro. We'll see who else potentially comes into pit lane, or the driver's falling further back. But that was an issue down in turn number 5. Siegel leads. Shields second. Rasmussen third. We'll wait for drivers to fall down the order here. Indeed, I believe that was Jack William Miller involved in the incident, likely the number 11 of Nico Christodoulou as well. Both those drivers falling to the tail. We have not yet seen. Yeah, so Jack William Miller staying on the racetrack. He and Christodoulou, I think, getting together. Don't see any damage for Jack William Miller on the 40 as he comes back across start-finish. But we got a battle between the two drivers who ran at Newman Walks Racing last year. Of course, Newman Walks moving over to the, driver off! Driver off the racetrack, couple off! Couple drivers have gone off. That is D'Orlando and I believe the leader, Nolan Siegel. Siegel, I think, going straight off the racetrack over into turn number 4. I got to think that the rain's starting to come down a little more in that particular part of the racetrack. Cameron Shields has gone to the lead. Siegel went straight off. The car not able to turn. Same happened for D'Orlando, I believe. He went off and spun in the grass. So now watch this. You're going to see some different lines around this racetrack because they're not going to want to be right on the racing line. Slick tires. Full course caution. Full course caution being shown here on the racetrack. I would expect they're potentially going to move to rain tires potentially here. We have another driver off. That is, I believe, Siegel still. He might have went off again. So Cameron Shields is going to slow him down. Let's reset here. Rasmussen runs in second. What happened to Christian Brooks? I think he's gone off as well. Christian Brooks has gone off. He's back on the track as the rain falls. So Brooks had some trouble there as well. I have a sneaking feeling this is the shot. If we go back to that shot, Kieran, of Cam 4, that's going to be Nolan Siegel. I have a feeling that Siegel went straight off the racetrack in 4 and came across and likely either collected or caused Brooks to spin because he went off the track so fast in the rain back there, straight across the racetrack. We're actually going red as the rain has arrived. Red flag flying, rain has arrived. So red flag flying. I'm not sure of the actual call if we go back to the last completed lap or how we'll address this. But first driver down into that wet corner. And obviously, Nolan Siegel, no idea what kind of grip level you're going to have. And the rain hit hard. He went straight off the racetrack, caught us off guard in 4. Same happened with D'Orlando. He went around. Shields, Rasmussen, Barrichello able to get through. That moves Prescott Campbell up to P4. 5th is Josh Green. Guys dropping down the order. Michael D'Orlando, as I said. Christian Brooks dropped down the order too. And just thinking about trying to go over the scenario, obviously we don't have a chance to give you a replay of that. Siegel went straight off and would then, of course, got on the grass, lost all control, and came straight back onto the racetrack. You can see here, he went from driver's left all the way across the track. I don't know whether or not there was any contact. I'm not seeing, the front wing looks intact. Like he may not have had actual physical contact with the retaining wall there, the Armco. But essentially has come to a stop. And if indeed he came right back, it was luckily actually for, as D'Orlando spun and came through 5, Brooks actually able to just miss D'Orlando. But I have to believe he came back around the corner and maybe had to take evasive maneuvers not to get in to Nolan Siegel. Yeah, I'm not seeing any damage to the front of the car. They're rotating that machine of Siegel around. All the drivers being brought down to pit lane. Rain tires coming out. And the thought of trying to get through this without any, without any rain coming, gone quickly. As the rain is here, and I got to believe it's going to be here for the remainder of the day. They're saying it's going to even get just more chance of rain. Drivers all working their way up to their pit stalls. Teams will go to work now. Bolton on the treaded Cooper Reigns. D'Orlando coming in as well. I don't see any damage to the car of D'Orlando after that spin. Again, I'm not sure exactly how they would then call this, whether or not it would be the order as they ran on the racetrack when the red came out, or do you go back to the last completed lap? Everybody coming in here, of course, that's a call for race control. Teams have been given 5 minutes to swap over to the treaded Cooper wets. And then we'll see what happens when we go wet weather racing here. Order as they came across last time: Cameron Shields the leader, Christian Rasmussen in second, third Eduardo Barrichello, fourth Prescott Campbell, fifth Josh Green, sixth Kyle Dupel, seventh Wyatt Prokachik, eighth Reese Gold, ninth Christian Bogle, 10th Yuvan Sundaramurthy. In 11th is Josh Pearson, 12th Kent Vaccaro, 13th Christian Brooks, 14th Matt Round-Garrido, 15th Michael D'Orlando, 16th Jack William Miller, 17th Nolan Siegel, and 18th Nico Christodoulou. Christodoulou and Miller, the two drivers that were together over in turn 5. Then, of course, the incident for Siegel going off with the rain in turn 4. D'Orlando as well. Brooks involved somehow. Teams going to work. So we're going rain racing. I don't know that yet that we have a real consistent stream of rain now. Wet enough that we can't be on slicks. Drivers doing their best to get these things changed. They're actually going to look like they're going to pull the engine cover off. The number 6 of Christian Rasmussen. Potential change to the dampers. So a little action to start things off here. Lap number 3. Nolan Siegel had taken advantage of that pole run, that quick lap time that he laid down to race number 2. Finished 18th, but got the fast lap of the race. Qualified on the pole, and that all went for naught because he's the first guy through the corner. Everybody else, after seeing him, went off, having an opportunity to kind of just change the attack, maybe get off the throttle a little bit, maybe not jump on the brakes, do whatever they can to get through that corner cleanly. Obviously, Cameron Shields doing a really good job to react to what he saw in front of him. Rasmussen doing the same thing. D'Orlando not quite as lucky. And then obviously horrible luck for Christian Brooks, indeed, if he somehow had to take evasive maneuvers not to hit Siegel as he came back across the racetrack. And to be honest, let's call it a positive because driver coming across the racetrack from drivers left to right at that rate of speed could have been a pretty nasty T-bone. So if he didn't hit anybody as it looks, so the car looks pretty good. Obviously, we got lucky there to a certain extent. Front shock covers coming off the cars. We've seen engine covers coming off for adjustment to the rear of the car as well. So 5-minute opportunity for these guys to get the treaded Cooper wets on, make a little adjustment to the dampers. And we'll get back at it here again. Nolan Siegel's worked his way up here to the team, dropped them off. Obviously confirming with Nolan what happened there. Nothing you can do when you're the first guy into a part of the racetrack. You have no idea. Tough one for Nolan. But he's back here with the team on pit lane. 4 laps in the book, 16 laps left to go. Still 38 minutes. With the red flag, they actually have, I'm seeing the clock as it stopped at 38 minutes and 13 seconds. I kind of would be surprised they wouldn't keep that rolling. But I guess with the amount of time we have, it's not like we're locked into a time limit here with IndyCar. Indy Pro 2000 will follow after this. We'll do the Victory Lane presentations, Tatis Victory Lane, and then get right back at it. Engines firing again down here on pit lane, so the work has been done. Tires on. I didn't actually hear the race control whether or not they were allowed to make changes to the car other than just putting on rain tires. Normally in a red flag situation, you're actually not allowed to work on the cars, but obviously setting up for what would be rain conditions, I'm not sure if that is an opportunity for the drivers to swap over the setup a little bit. Some did, obviously, as I've detailed. Drivers getting brought down one at a time to get themselves back into their positions as we get set to go again. Still 16 laps of racing to go in what will be much different conditions. I'm not seeing any rain actually falling right now on the track. We expect more rain to arrive. That'll make things interesting as well, whether or not these tires start to get chewed up a little bit if we do get a dry racing line going again before the next sprinkle hits, next shower hits. Again, drivers all being sent down into their spots. Tough one for Christian Brooks. Been a lot of bad luck here today. They got caught out in qualifying, weren't able to get their fast laps in at all. He qualified back in 13th, drove his way up to 7th position in race number 2. Fast lap put him P5 in the grid, and then, of course, whatever happened, having to take evasive maneuvers to not to hit Nolan Siegel has dropped him well back. Christian Brooks down to 13th again. We're going to see another attack forward for Brooks. Shields, Rasmussen, Barrichello, Campbell in green, top 5. Dupel, 6th. Prokopchik in 7th. Gold, 8th. Bogle, 9th. And Sundermurthy in 10th. So it'll be a single file restart. We'll go green as soon as we get back around here. Drivers, as you can see, pulling off pit lane. They'll get one sighting lap here before going green to get a feel for this racetrack, what kind of grip levels they'll have. Opening lap should be pretty interesting. Cooper Wets on the cars all through the field as we get ready to do some slipping and sliding. We'll see how much the drivers will change their driving line around the track here in the wet weather. Normally you don't run that inside straight race line because the rubber goes down, the oil goes down a little bit there, and that, of course, oil and water do not mix, no grip whatsoever there. A lot of times you'll run the outside line, but they'll essentially be testing all the different lines around the racetrack. They'll try the racing line because it's obviously faster. If they can find enough grip, they will. Some may straddle that line a little bit to get the outside tires over away from the racing line. So back at it once again. Race time dwindling down again, 36 minutes still. But as I said, only 16 laps to go. 4 laps able to get in the books. Cameron Shields is your leader for D-Force Racing. Rasmussen second. Barrichello third. Campbell fourth. Who's got the abilities here in the wet? This could be interesting. One thing, of course, that Shields will have is a clean visor. He won't have any spray in front of him. He'll be able to get that open racetrack, and the more you use that early, the better. Shields looking to pull away to try to get his first win here of 2020. Pace cars ducked on in. We're getting ready to go racing again. Out of the final corner, we're at it. Shields leads. And away we go. See who gets aggressive early to turn number 1. The first time through at speed. They'll all have to get a feel for it here coming through. Got to trust those tires. See a couple drivers there using the outside line. Some trying to get up over the curb on the inside as well. Shields with the lead. Coming into the chicane, turn 3, A, B, and C. Everyone holding spots so far. Through turn 4, the site of the incident last time through. Drivers getting a feel for it here. A couple of different lines being explored already. We'll see if we get another hit of rain. That could change things in a big way. The driver with a little bit of wet weather experience, you'd think Matt Round-Garrido would step things up. Of course, a number of years in British Formula Ford. They occasionally get a little wet over at Brands Hatch and Silverstone and Holton Park. So you expect he'll be fairly smooth here. Up front cleanly, though, right now for Cameron Shields. I asked him a little bit about his prowess in the wet, since he really hasn't done a lot of wet weather racing. Been a while, so we'll see what he's able to do. Christian Rasmussen hounding him right now, coming down the straightaway. Rasmussen's going to make a move for the lead here, I think, coming into turn number 1. He'll try to the outside. Going to run the outside. Look at this. To the outside goes Rasmussen. I told you about the grip on the outside. Rasmussen, I believe, potentially going to the lead here. Coming up over turn number 4. Well out of that corner. And is that Rasmussen or is it Shields? I think that's Shields potentially still with that lead. Barrichello running in third. Give you another top 10 rundown. We roll back through here again. Coming through turn number 6 into this big sweeping 7, 8, 9 segment of the racetrack. Shields, I believe, still P1. Able to hold off Rasmussen, who tried the outside of turn 1 and apparently wasn't able to get any grip out there. Lost quite a bit of ground coming out of that corner. We'll see whether or not more rain starting to fall on the racetrack. I'm not seeing much here right now. Onto the front straightaway again. Shields keeping it down to the bottom of the racetrack. He's side by side. They're going to go down into 1. Big run to the outside for Rasmussen. He's going to try the outside line to see if he can get some grip. He looks like he's got the spot at this point. Good fight here as well for the third spot. Josh Green going around Barrichello. Back up over the hill, and it's now Rasmussen to P1. Rasmussen goes to the lead. Shields back into second. Green goes up to P3. Barrichello back to 4th. Prescott Campbell running 5th as well. Good run here for Prescott. A little further back, Christian Brooks and Michael D. Orlando starting to close up on Josh Pearson and Christian Bogle. Leaders coming through turn number 5 over to 6 now. And Rasmussen's worked his way to P1, as we said, comfortably. One more race still to come, Indy Pro 2000. I wonder what kind of weather we're going to see here for that race. Rain did arrive here 4 laps in, or 3 laps in rather, to our USF2000 finale here at Thunderbolt Raceway at New Jersey Motorsports Park. That rain catching out the first driver through turn 4 on lap 3, and that was, of course, Nolan Siegel out of the race. Spin for D'Orlando. Something as well for Christian Brooks, dropping them both down the order. And Rasmussen flat pulling away here right now. Fight further back. Prescott Campbell going at it here with Eduardo Barrichello. Campbell to the outside, going to try to roll the outside of the racetrack. Prescott Campbell gets a good run out of turn number 1. Campbell trying to take the spot away. Up over the hill, not quite. Tucks back in. Barrichello holding on to P4. Campbell in the 5th spot. 6th is Brkacek. 7th is Dupal. 8th is Gold. 9th, Sundaramurthy. 10th is Jack William Miller. Prescott Campbell with fast lap of the race so far at 122.200. Kind of watching where these guys run on the racetrack to see whether or not Rasmussen can clinch here. Needs a 67-point lead with Barrichello running in 4th. He would not have it. 374 to 311. That's only 63 points. Reese Gold currently running in 8th. That would be 67. So 8th spot for Reese Gold essentially takes him out of contention. It would be down to just Barrichello and Rasmussen at St. Petersburg. Fast lap of the race could count as well, though. Josh Green putting on a show here in the wet. Here goes Prescott Campbell as well. Green trying to go after. Shields, and Prescott Campbell holding on to the outside. Does Campbell get the spot away? No, he doesn't do it again. Can't quite hold it. Keeps putting the pressure on Barrichello. Josh Green, impressive here in the wet, as he's putting the pressure on Cameron Shields for P2. Christian Rasmussen able to take that lead away from Cameron Shields and jet out to what was a 3.7 second lead. To figure what we've got there, a couple drivers battling. Josh Green going to go around the outside. Green, I believe, through to get the spot. I think that maybe Prescott Campbell by Barrichello as well. We'll see when they come back around here. Do we have a lap car? Is that what we're dealing with here? There's the 6. Yeah, it's the 23 of Matt Round-Garrido. So then we've got Josh Green into 2nd. 3rd is Shields. 4th is Prescott Campbell. 5th is Brkacek. 6th, Barrichello. Barrichello falling back to P6. I think we're in a spot here right now. That would be a clinch. If Rasmussen wins and Barrichello finishes 6th or worse, I have a sneaking feel. I think Rasmussen's going to be able to clinch this championship. All unofficial, of course. Do not trust my math, please. But just looking at the points possibility chart that Diane Swintel put together for me, it looks like that it's 67 points. There's only 66 points up for grabs over the 2 races at St. Petersburg. So a 67-point lead insurmountable. That would be a clinch. As they run on the racetrack with Barrichello in the 6th position, I believe that's 67 points. That's 374 to 307. That is 67 points. Josh Green will look at his lap times to see whether or not he's able to reel in the leader. I don't know whether or not that's going to happen. We'll see as they come back around, because Rasmussen's been very strong here. At the halfway point of the race, we'll put lap 11 in the books next time by. Yeah, I think Rasmussen's still just pulling away, flat pulling away. Great run here, though, for Josh Green. Prescott Campbell up into 3rd. What a run here for Prescott. Shields goes back to 4th. Dupal 5th. The Portland, Oregon driver. Dupal's got more than a handful of wet laps up at Pat's Acres Racing Complex in Canby, Oregon. A lot of time at the park for Kyle Dupel, and he's able to show it here. Christian Brooks. What a good run for Christian, up to P9. Remember, he was all the way back in 15th at one point. Brooks up to 9th. Prescott Campbell putting on a show here right now as well, as he's up to 3rd. Still about 3/10 off of green, but Prescott trying to hold on to P3. Here comes Michael D'Orlando into pit lane in the number 4, not the way he wanted to come into pit lane, and he's going to the garage. That's it for the New Jersey weekend for Michael D'Orlando. His championship hopes have been dashed as well. As I said, though, good possibility here right now for Christian Rasmussen to potentially get this championship. More updating here from Diane Swintel, Stingray Robb, and Christian Rasmussen, both as well with the most wins. So there wouldn't be, even if they get tied, they would win the tiebreaker. So really, they only need 66 points. If they're up by 66, someone sweeps the entire weekend at St. Petersburg, they're tied for points, they'll win with most wins. So 66 points is all they really need. Wow. Eduardo Barrichello, 6th position. Again, 3. And then I'm not counting bonus points either, because Rasmussen, though, has not led enough laps as of yet. Good fight here right now. Christian Brooks battling it out, I believe, with Jack William Miller, and Josh Pearson's in there too. Look at this fight further back. We'll watch more of that. Brooks has actually got to the front of that group. He's looking to work his way forward. Barrichello back to P5. He gets by Kyle Dupel this fight, so he's into P5. That's 309. This is going to be close. Fast lap of the race for Campbell. Rasmussen wasn't on the pole, so he doesn't get the bonus point there. He will have led the most laps if he gets through to the end here, I believe. So it could be a 31-point haul for him, which would give him 375 points. So I believe 309 to 375 would probably be enough. That would be 66 points. So Barrichello P5, I believe that Rasmussen would clinch the championship. Lap 13 in the books. We got some good fighting here further back. Christian Brooks going at it here now with Wyatt Brkacek. Brooks to the outside, trying to get by Brkacek. That's further back in this battle. There's one ahead of us fighting as well, too. That's Dupel going at it with Shields. Brooks going at it with Brkacek. This is the race that we're looking for here in the wet. Indeed. Kyle Dupel, I believe, able to go to P4. Kyle Dupel into 4th, able to get by Cameron Shields. Pacific Northwest driver. A lot of seat time at the kart track in the wet, as I said. That's coming into play here for Kyle Dupel as he's gone to P4. Prescott Campbell still with a fast lap, a 122.2. We got ourselves a fantastic battle here outside the top 4 or 5. Look at this run for Christian Brooks right now, coming forward again. Brooks working his way up, battling now with Eduardo Barrichello. Look at this fight behind Dupel. That is 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. And they are scrapping it out. Cameron Shields, Christian Brooks, Eduardo Barrichello, Wyatt Brkacek, Josh Pearson, another driver with lots of time at Pat's Acres Racing Complex up in the Pacific Northwest in Canby, Oregon. get a chance to leverage all those laps they turn on the wet weather. Sliding that cart around out of Pat's. Doing it here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. A few thousand miles from that track, but getting it done here in Jersey. Rasmussen out to an 8-second lead, though, looking to try to clinch this championship. Of course, anything on track unofficial till we get things done in pit lane, so we'll let you know where things. Oh, contact there! Two drivers around! Two drivers around coming through turn number 8. Not quite sure who that was. It might have been Prokachek and Josh Pearson. That's Prokachek. I don't know if Prokachek was trying to come down to pinch a little bit. That was coming out of turn number 9 over to turn number 10. That sweeping part of that corner. Prokachek able to continue. Let's gap things up a little bit. Brooks still trying to go to work here now on Eduardo Barrichello. So we got a good fight between Cameron Shields, Eduardo Barrichello, and Christian Brooks. That is for 5th, 6th, and 7th, top 5 run. Barrichello looking to go back to the inside on Shields. Barrichello trying to get himself back into P5. Rasmussen out by 7.2 seconds. Josh Green getting into the gap a little bit there. Here comes the 5 for Prokachek. That thing's crabbing. Yeah, big damage to the right rear suspension. Upper A-arm bent pretty significantly, as is the control arm as well. So that'll be it for Prokachek. He's done. Rasmussen leading nicely here. 5 laps to go with a championship in front of them unofficially. Across the line to complete lap number 16. Josh Green and Prescott Campbell, both very impressive here in the wet. Green second, Campbell running third. Big gap back now to Dupel in 4th. 5th now, Shields. Brooks has gotten into 6th. 7th is Barrichello. 8th, Josh Pearson. 9th, Reese Gold. 10th, Christian Bogle. As they run on the racetrack, Reese Gold in 10th. 69 points back. He would not challenge. Barrichello in 7th. Now 68 points back. Would be 69 once Rasmussen leads all his laps. This is looking very much like Christian Rasmussen will clinch the USF2000 championship here today, which would be his 9th win of the season and his 12th career Road to Indy victory. He's got 4 laps to go between he and the scholarship to go Indy Pro 2000 racing in 2021. Will we clinch both championships here in New Jersey? Man, you got to think about Christian Rasmussen and what happened mid-season. DNFs, drove off while leading at Mid-Ohio. The engine issue there, whatever the issue was, not able to get started in round 3 at Indianapolis. End up finishing last. A couple of very tough finishes. You got to dig deep and have that confidence in yourself when you see your championship lead, which was once over 90 points, get down to 14 points. You think that the championship is gone, but it's not. You got to keep digging. And he's gone on an amazing streak over these last couple of races. First, second, first, and trying to get another victory. That would be 3 wins in the last 4 races, similar to what we saw earlier in the year. 3 laps to go for Rasmussen, the Dane, trying to bring Denmark its first Road to Indy championship. First time in a lot of years that Cape Motorsports didn't win the title as well. They've, I think, got a good position here of the team championship, but drivers just not in position. Both Reese Gold and Michael D'Orlando gave it a good shot here in the final couple of races, but Jay Howard Driver Development looking to get its first Road to Indy championship as well. Tremendous runs for Josh Green and Prescott Campbell as well. They always call rain the great equalizer. takes a lot of talent on the modulation of the throttle and the brakes and the quiet hands on the wheel. Got to be smooth in the wet. And Green and Campbell both just as impressive right now as Christian Rasmussen. Campbell still with that fast lap of the race, a 1:22.200. Of course, that was early in the race. That was on lap number 2 on the slick, so that's not going anywhere. And Christian Brooks has gone to P5. He was able to get by Cameron Shields. So 5th position now for Christian Brooks, all the way down at 15th at one point. He's put a show on coming forward as well. A lot of passes for Brooks. These drivers challenged throughout this weekend. A track with high tire degradation. And then, of course, the issue here in round number 3 with the wet. That's what it's all about, training these young drivers to be all-around talents. Street courses, natural terrain, ovals, dry weather, wet weather. Low tire deg, high tire deg, doing whatever we can to train these drivers to get to the NTT IndyCar Series. And Christian Rasmussen looking to follow into a long line of tremendous drivers in USF2000. White flag flying for Rasmussen. As they run on the racetrack, unofficially will clinch as your champion in USF2000. Got to get through tech, as we know. So we, of course, unofficially, everything's unofficial until it's all said and done. But as he runs on the racetrack, Rasmussen, with Barrichello in 7th, would win by 68 points with still 2 rounds to go. Rasmussen working his way through turn 4 and 5 now. The final lap for Rasmussen. Just got to stay clean. Big lead of 8.3 seconds. You know they're on the radio telling him just to cruise it home. Because all that work at the start of the season, 6 straight wins, that was enough to defend the issues midsummer. It's been this last run that has been so impressive. Mid-Ohio and here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Still going to St. Petersburg, folks, but he will be the unofficial champion when we head to Florida. Because coming out of the final couple of corners through turn number 11A and 11B, this was the goal from the get, and he will take it. Coming through turn number 12 for another win. 8th of the season, and your new champion, Christian Rasmussen, will win unofficially the race and the championship. Josh Green, an amazing run to 2nd. 3rd for Prescott Campbell. What a run for Prescott. Best we've seen him all year. What a good weekend as well. 5th in round number 1. Nice job by Kyle Dupel, P4. Christian Brooks for the tail of the field, back to 5th. What a great run for Christian. Cameron Shields holds on for 6th. Barrichello 7th. Bogle 8th. Gold 9th. And another top 10, back-to-back top 10s for Josh Pearson. An exclusive Autosport. Good weekend for Josh. But, folks, this one is all about Christian Rasmussen. 3 wins and a 2nd place finish in the last 4 races, and he finds himself as the unofficial 2020 champion of the Cooper Tires USF2000 Championship. Again, that strength of the start of the season, the 6 straight wins, gave him enough points to withstand the issues that he had in the summer at Mid-Ohio and Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and turns it around here. Of course, getting that win at the final round at Mid-Ohio, coming here to New Jersey, and able to put it down. 2 wins and a 2nd place finish. And Rasmussen, your champion. As I had said, big run for Cape Motorsports over the last number of years. Rasmussen becomes the first non-Cape Motorsports driver to win since the very first season. Sage Karam for Andretti Autosport won the championship back in 2010, and indeed we raced here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Sage Karam was a winner here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Fast forward to 2020, and Christian Rasmussen a winner here as well at this particular facility in Millville, New Jersey, and with that, he unofficially clinches the championship. Indy Pro cars, of course, getting ready to go. We'll head down to Tatis Victory Circle. The drivers working their way in here now. Excellent run for Josh Green and Prescott Campbell, as I had said. Watch these drivers to be able to work these tough conditions. It's the light sprinkle continuing throughout the entire day here today, the entire race. So increasingly slick throughout that run. Yeah, but what a stretch, as I said. Incredible run for Christian Rasmussen over the last 4 races. 3 wins and a second place finish. First, second, first here this weekend in New Jersey. And for me, the impressive thing is to think about what happens as a young driver when you've got such a great start to the season. And then you have issues like he did midseason. You could start getting really down on yourself. You can start getting down on your team. You could lose that confidence, lose that faith. But I don't think Christian ever did that. Just kept focused and kept his eye on the prize, knowing that he's going to be able to get back to the form that he had at one point. And, of course, that indeed is exactly what happened. As Rasmussen, big finish to the season here. I believe and again, unofficial, talking about the clinch. We'll, of course, go through everything when it's all said and done. You got to get through tech still, but it's a 68-point lead. All he needed was 66 points because, of course, that's all the points that are available if a driver were to come in and sweep St. Petersburg. But with as many wins as he had, that's the tiebreaker. So even if someone swept the weekend down at St. Petersburg and had all the points, Christian got 0 points, they would have to tie him at 66. He'd still win the tiebreaker with the most points, with the most race wins, rather. But he's got 68-point lead. Unsurmountable going to St. Petersburg. So the pressure will be off for Christian Rasmussen. He'll take the opportunity to let this soak in after a tremendous rookie season last year with 3 victories. He has stacked it up. 9 wins so far here this season. He'll try to keep going down at St. Petersburg. We got this coming up here pretty soon. Christian coming over, having a quick chat here with Dan Anderson, CEO of Anderson Promotions and the Road to Indy. Dan's had an opportunity to see many of these young drivers coming through. Of course, this is his passion of supporting drivers through this Road to Indy program. Just some great performances out there in very tough conditions. All right, folks, we're ready to rock and roll here. We got our drivers down here. And again, as I always say, rain the great equalizer, because it's so tough out there. It's not about power. It's more about the driver and how they're able to handle the conditions. We had a couple drivers do a great job, worked their way onto the podium here today, and, of course, a new champion unofficially. Let's get started with the driver coming home in 3rd spot for Exclusive Autosport. What a great weekend it's been. P5 in race 1. His first podium here as well, folks. 3rd place today, Prescott Campbell. Another solid run, working his way forward, making a lot of really strong, aggressive passes. Coming home in 2nd place today for Cape Motorsports, Josh Green. But, folks, we've watched so many tremendous drivers come through this USF2000 program. We've seen guys win a lot of races and be able to win championships. This one clinches early. 3 wins last year, 9 now this year. He is unofficially your new champion, ladies and gentlemen. A huge round of applause for J. Howard Driver Development, Christian Rasmussen. Christian, we've talked a lot about what you guys had to go through the middle part of the season. You had a lot of bad luck that really didn't play your way, but man, what a way to come back. 3 wins over 4 races. You clinched the championship. Just first and foremost, how do you feel about finally getting it done?
Yeah, it feels amazing. I don't think I've even, I don't think it has sunk in yet, but yeah, you can even hear it. I'm lost for words, you know. It's been an amazing season. The boys has been doing such a great job all weekend and all season. So it's been a pleasure driving the car. It's obviously, I mean, I'm glad of being on top of the podium, but at the end of the day, it's the championship that counts. So yeah, just very, very happy.
Can you tell us a little bit about the conditions out there? We obviously weren't in the car. What was it like? Was it pretty slippery, or did you feel like you were able to find a good racing line and enough grip?
I mean, obviously, I found enough grip. I mean, I'm standing here, so no, it was definitely slick out there. It was definitely the right move to go to the rain tires. But yeah, I just managed to get by Shields pretty early on, and from there on out, I just built the gap. I think I ended out having a I don't know, 9-second lead or something. So yeah, amazing race. Car was great, and yeah.
Obviously, it takes a lot to win a championship like this. Take the opportunity now that you've clinched this championship unofficially. Who do you want to thank for the efforts this year?
Obviously, thank you so much to J. Howard Driver Development, J. Howard, Louis D'Agostino. Thank you to my personal sponsors at home, Jan Poulsen. Without him, I simply wouldn't be here. Thank you to my family, my friends who have supported me this whole season. Thank you guys everyone for coming out and watching us. It's at the end of the day, it's just the fans that create the sport. So it's great to have them here, even though the circumstances. So yeah, thank you to everyone.
There you go, folks. Christian Rasmussen. One more time, a round of applause for our unofficial champion. A tremendous run for him. Josh Green and Prescott Campbell putting on a show as well here in the wet weather. Congratulations to both of those drivers. 2 fine young Americans really putting on a show and getting their name in the headline here for today. But again, what a push it's been here for Christian Rasmussen. As I said, 3 wins over the last 4 races. First, second, first. That is exactly what you got to get done. He's able to clinch the championship. 68 points, I believe, the lead now. I think 70 points. So a 70-point lead, obviously insurmountable. As I had said, only 66 points on offer down at St. Petersburg. So this is an absolutely impressive run for Rasmussen coming back after those issues. Again, big congratulations. We wrap things up here in USF2000. Christian Rasmussen, the winner today, and the unofficial 2020 Cooper Tires USF2000 champion. Josh Green in second, and Prescott Campbell third.